Hello again, Hot Wheels fans. So it seems as though my collecting habits are evolving. I started out buying a lot of the import brands, but now I'm buying more and more Hot Wheels, including mainlines with the 3D printed wheels. But I also don't have many pickup trucks in my collection, so I thought I'd add this to it, and it looks pretty good in the blister. So let's take a look here. So this is a 60s Ford Econoline pickup, and this Econoline first came out in 1961 and was sold up until 1967. It was the first cab-over design from Ford, and this is in response to Volkswagen selling their T2 van, which is a cab-over design as well, and I guess it was really successful. So Ford and Dodge, they created their own versions. I do want to get a Dodge A100 as well one of these days. So this was supposedly based on the Ford Falcon body, and then it's a unibody, so it was pretty light. And because of a cab over, you can still have a 7-foot long bed and still have a relatively short overall length. So it would make it a little bit easier to maneuver compared to a regular styled pickup truck. And it was really pretty inexpensive for Ford to make this, because it shared the I-beam front suspension from the F100 series, and so that basically is like a solid axle with leaf springs, and the rear is as well as a solid axle with the leaf springs. So it was a pretty interesting way for them to take some existing technologies and make a new vehicle for relatively less investment. One thing that was a bit odd though is the weight balance. You know, they had the engine over the front axle. The engine, there are 3 variations: 2.4 larger engine, and then it maxed out at 3.9 liters. They're all 6-cylinder engines, and they were placed over the front axle. So it was a really front-heavy vehicle, and so when it braked, you know, it wanted to lift the tires off the ground. So to counteract that, they put like a 165-pound weight back here underneath the bed to help counteract that lifting motion, which is obviously going to be dangerous. It's supposed to be running on 13 or 14-inch wheels, and then I found out the overall length should be 42.75 millimeters, which makes me wonder how off this scale is, because, you know, I don't think Hot Wheels ever claims to be a certain scale. So let's pull out the calipers here and zero this out and see how long this is. So I'm getting 66.2. So if I pull out my calculator, 42.75 divided by 66.2. Well, it's not too far off. It's about 164, a little bit over 164 scale, 165 scale. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. So I want to just do that again. 42.75 divided by 66.2. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much on, right? So that's really coincidentally pretty nice. So this will actually fit in with the rest of my premium brands pretty nicely. Sure, it doesn't have the inserted headlights like a premium brand, but I do like how Hot Wheels has a little bit of printing texture, so it looks kind of like a 3-dimensional headlight, you know, with this little gray on the top and bottom, and then this little yellow marker paint in there. The flames might be a little over the top, but I'm okay with it. I really like this copper color, this body color, I mean. And also the door seams are pretty thin, so this is pretty nice. It makes me wonder, when was this first made, like the casting. It does say 2016, so pretty nice casting actually. Pretty tight panel lines. I've seen worse from this brand. So a lot of texturing here for this grille, and it's so far in, it looks like it's, you know, realistic. It's not black paint. That's literally air creating that darkness in the grille. Going around to the back here, the Ford is printed nicely. The taillights are nice, you know, because you got the silver and the red in the middle. A little area for the license plate. Unfortunately here there's a chunk of metal dented or missing there, so that's not the greatest, but this isn't the really super expensive model. It's interesting what they did here in the bed, how there's a molded in skateboard, so that's kind of neat. This is part of the casting, so that would explain the color there, but I guess if you're really picky you could just paint that black. And then it's nice to see the back glass, and it's nice to see no windows in the side, so we can get a better look into the interior. So let's take the flashlight out. Yeah, so there's a plain steering wheel, a couple seats with some ribbing it looks like, and a little center armrest or something. Let's take a look from this side. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It even looks like the door might have, no, that's the seat, never mind. So pretty good. And then there's some silver paint here on the door handle, so that's pretty cool. And then some hinges sticking out. So all in all, it's a pretty nice model actually. It's you know, pretty much colored on every side, and this grille is really nicely done. It's actually quite deep, so I'm pretty impressed here. This is a really good mold that they put together for this truck. So I'm not even going to bother customizing this. These wheels don't look like they're standard, of course, because they're sunken in so much. It's kind of a hot rod, but I kind of like it. It's like a hot rod pimped out truck here. So let me get the calipers out of the way, and we'll put it on the spinny thing and pull up the photo of the real one. So there we go. There's a real old ad of the truck, but obviously Hot Wheels took some liberties of their own to kind of customize one, but I'm okay with it. I like it, so I'm pretty happy I picked this up, and it's now a new addition to my truck collection. Okay guys, we'll see you around the next one. Take care.